Big map for Finest if they want to put up competition in this series. Ancient's been close before, but Entropiq have improved. They've come back new, resilient on that map. They won't want to be heading their Finest a map down with it all to play for. So this time they're going to queue up towards the A ramp. Hotly contested bit of real estate here on Vertigo as Alien just peering on down, spots out multiple bodies, taps straight into them, finds 2 for free before he's taken out by Kriaz. And that is not how Finest would have wanted to start this pistol.
No, not at all. It's still recoverable, though. As I say that, Lackey comes around short, instantly takes off the head of Shux. They want the flash to go in even further, and Arquez attempts to fight, and it doesn't work out in his favor. Kree is left all alone. The net should do some damage, but with the head shown, that is more than enough for Lackey to go ahead and end the round. That is an abrupt end to the pistol round. It was just a quick clash towards ramp, which, as you said, doesn't work out for Finest, and then after that, they don't really work off of each other in what still could have been a very recoverable 3-on-4.
Well, we had 2 theories as to how Entropiq were going to come into this series. We had the a little bit tired because they've just played a full best of 3 against Big Theory, and we had the absolutely cracked because they just played against Big Theory, and it looks like the latter.
And qualified to IEM Dallas. That's got to hype you up, right?
It has got to warm you up just a little bit, and it looks like the latter is the case here. That was a fairly stellar pistol round from Entropiq, if we're being honest. The fact Lackey just feeling it, drives by for 3 quick kills, gives them a nice strong buy into the second as well. 4 rifles, Crad, the only player dropping down onto the MP9 just to give himself a little bit of utility. Molotov and a smoke at his feet, and, well, up against 5 Glocks, a big opportunity to farm here. He tucks himself close. Has that utility, as we said, to start flushing these angles away. The Molotov draws them into the peak. Crad will only get 1. Nickelback running out of ammo, finds 2, but he is taken down. And whilst it isn't the man advantage, that's 2 recoverable rifles, and you can see Elliot very keen to make sure that that is not the case. It's Plesson the next to wander into the crosshairs, but to be fair to Finest, bringing 5 Glocks into the round and finding 2 kills is not the worst look in the world.
No, pretty solid, especially when you're taking those fights up ramp. You expect pretty much nothing to come true in the long run, but yeah, a bit of an overcommitment maybe from Nickelback. He still came away with the 2 kills. His teammates handle it in the end. Now it's just important that they keep it going off of this gun round because they took enough damage that they do not have the bonus round in the bank, unfortunately. Nickelback is on a double eco, as is Crad and Lackey. Obviously, Nickelback has a bit more money than the other 2, but either way, there's only 2 players that would fully be able to afford. So Entropiq, if they want to keep up this early lead, if they want to keep expanding on it, to ensure they don't lose out this round, otherwise Finest, they're going to flip the game very quickly on its head. No ops in play. It will be a hectic one once Arquez and Ellie have those to work with, but for now, it's the M4s that are getting it done. Forrester catches a good timing on Kreese, nothing too insane. Got him trying to creep his way up the stairs, and now with a man advantage, they can chill out a little bit, I suppose. They don't have a ton of nades left either, although they've put down to a decent amount of smokes, only now putting down their third last one.
And that's going to be the problem. They've held on to that ramp control in Entropiq for a long old time. The refresh of the smoke starting to go out now. It's the whole reason we saw Kriaz having to be a little inventive with that B-load, because they had lost full ramp control, really couldn't contest it with the limited nades they had. Now with 45 seconds left on the clock, they will start to work their way back towards that portion of the map, start to flush away the early CT defenders. But again, at what cost as we start to see those rotations? Already 3 players for this CT side over towards the A site. A 4th fast rotate through mid. If Nickelback can just spot this crosshair, get out of it alive, that would be huge. Plesson, though, just a little quicker on the draw, will manage to even things out. And this is where that lacking utility starts to become a problem for the CT side. 20 seconds left. They're just going to brawl it, and with 3 quick kills, Shocks. Well, he's left in shock, alone on the ramp. He's trying to tap away at these heads. He's got 2, 3, but he can't quite find the adjustment. Would have been a miracle round there. Forrester finally able to put him to bed. It was very, very nearly a little something special, but they couldn't quite get it done.
That gives Entropiq to 3-0. This is the start that Finest really didn't want to hand away. Especially being here on the T side, a strong start would have been very, very helpful. Instead, now just pistols, a few nades behind it as well. I'm not expecting a ton to be found. One positive is, of course, the damage has been done up until this point, so if they can get a few kills again, it still keeps Entropiq on the brink of destruction with just a single gun round going the way of Finest, but it doesn't seem like the pistols this time around are really going to be getting anything out of it. Kree is about to be spammed down with 3 players from multiple angles sending bullets at him. And it's Nickelback who eventually gets the finish 4-0. Finest, I mean, we didn't expect much. It would have been nice if they got a couple of kills, though. Instead, now coming into this round in a position where they do need to win out a couple if they actually want to break Entropiq down.
Big 4-0 for Entropiq. And as you said, a big old mountain already for Finest to climb. Nickelback is looking to charge into this one behind the generators. He finds the head of Shocks. Pleasant also dinked up. This is an Entropiq lineup coming at it with all cylinders firing. Just looking to take the fight to Finest. Not willing to let them settle whatsoever. Already 2 kills up. Pleasant dink down, ramp control, B stairwell control. The CTs have got it all, and you can see it's just throwing Finest into a little bit of disarray here, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, before they could form any sort of a plan or really get themselves into positions to start executing the one they had in mind, they're already just decimated. I mean, Pleasant's left incredibly low. It's going to be Twist and Grease who need to work some openings. They need to do so without taking much damage as well, and Twist has actually kicked that off in a decent manner, taking the initial kill onto Elian. Big frag to find, in fairness, but they aren't really able to hang on to the ramp control. They decide to fall back now, see if they can bring this over towards B. And if they move relatively quickly, it is only going to be Forrester that's waiting for them. Nades-wise, he only has a single smoke as well, so there's no molly to put down, no flashes either. If he loses out on this position without taking some kills, they could be in trouble, but no, there we go. Instant headshot on Kreese, tucks in, drops the smoke to try and just keep as much time basically in their favor as he can while those rotations come in, and they've done a perfect job. The flash over as well kept them blinded. It's forcing them back into the flanker, and Krad, although he only gets one of them, has already confirmed the round win. That's
job done. Only needed the 1 kill. Drops the bomb as well, buys so much time. Nickelback's going hunting as Twist tucks himself behind the stairwell, takes the dink on the chin. He's going to be hunted by absolutely everyone here, and if he goes down after time, that's going to be a bitter pill to swallow. $900 as his AK is ripped away from him after the clock has gone completely red. A nice clean start for Entropiq, and it does just look like they're warm, Dean. It's not anything particularly special or snazzy. They are just winning. Every fight they take, it's clean as you like. And as Finest drop down onto the half by, they've at least done a decent job in that last round of chipping away at the economy. If they can get out of this one taking maybe a couple of rifles away with them as well, then that would be a fantastic result. As with a handful of deagles and techs as well, they'll look to try and get just some kind of damage, right? Take away a rifle, that MP9 potentially, but Krad, well, he wants to farm on the MP9, and that's exactly what he's doing too. 1 with the nade, 1 with the gun. We'll go down again, perhaps a little too enthusiastic looking for that 3rd kill, but it's only the MP9. As long as Entropiq drop none of the rifles, they're not going to be fussed.
Twist just got called a budget Twists. I don't know. I mean, you could maybe look at it that way, but he's been around longer, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Twist was young when he started playing, so I wouldn't imagine he's been around as long as Twist has been. That'd be a fun matchup. Nickelback though, nice timing on dropping that smoke just as they start to move forward towards the scaffolding and up the ramp in general. The bomb though still chilling a little further back, I believe, down towards the bottom of the ramp, only now beginning to move towards them. So it does look like this is the goal anyway. Molly down to try and flush the player back away from the alley, give them some ground cover, try and get them in a little bit closer, and well, that's risky, but it works for 1. Alright, Elian falls. Unfortunately, no time to reset the shot for the 2nd, and it does still leave Kreese alone. He's got the bomb, sure, and he's got the opening kill, but he shot the weapon a little bit further away than he would have intended. There's still another M4 though to grab, but the timing doesn't work in his favour. Tries to drop the smoke to allow it across to the site to try and maybe tap that bomb, see if he can maybe bait the player out off the back of that. But no, Lackey took a bit more initiative, I guess, than was expected.
I tell you what, it's a really nice amount of damage for them to find, though. We were talking about how, you know, Krad gets 2, he goes down with the MP9. Fine. Anything else from there? Any rifles dropped or expenses that Entropiq don't want to be losing to those kind of half-buys? So to take 2 down with you, potentially more if not for that timing, is a really nice little result for Finest. Problem is they've got to start backing it up now. They know where Forrester likes to play, over towards this B site. It's an awkward fight for him. Multiple crosshairs. Pleasant will take advantage. And now Lackey was fast on the rotate, but he's still isolated in towards this B site. Utility flying in from his teammates. Blinds up 3, he takes 2. Looks for more and will catch him on the spray down as well. The flashbangs just a little too good from Entropiq here. And as much as Shox has got 1, he's being flanked out all the while. And the last man, well, Anakez, is starting to look desperately lonely as he makes his way up onto the A site. But without the bomb, well, there's not really much point in him being there.
At this rate, Big and Finest are going to form a support group for victims of Entropiq after this one. Really not looking great in these opening rounds. Arquez, at this point you just have to get that save in, of course. He's actually yet to get on the board. That's a little bit surprising. Obviously, this is the first time he's got the op out, I believe, but still. You would hope he'd be able to put in a little bit more, considering he is normally the man you expect up towards that top of the scoreboard, but it's still relatively early days. They do just need to start building on this T side as soon as possible, but yeah, he's hoping for a mistake to be made. If it's not going to happen, then he will be more than happy to just have that up at least in this next round. They've obviously got the loss bonus. Kreese and Shox at least can buy off the back of that. Lesson just about as well. Get the AK armor if he wants, no nades behind it, so he might have to sacrifice down a little bit. So it's definitely a worthwhile save. Either way, 7-0 for Entropiq. They're not far off of halfway already up to that finish line, and Finest, I think, are feeling the wrath of an Entropiq that are just motivated in all regards. As we said, they've got that spot at IEM Dallas, just qualified to it, what, an hour before this game started?
Yep.
Came out of a good win versus Big to do so as well. They're well warmed up, motivated, as I said. It's just everything coming together for you to play at your best. All positive energy, I suppose, within the team.
Feels like everything's clicking, doesn't it? That's the big thing. In a really solid position here, 7-0 up. And as you said, some rough scores to look at. I mean, Anakez 0-6, the Orcas. He's going to at least manage to save that into this one. There's rifles around him. And Plesson again, trying to be cheeky around this smoke. It's worked out once for him. Forrester changes up his angle as a result and actually manages to fall back into the depths of the site before being spotted. Sets himself on the headshot angle. It's a nice spray down for 1. Spots more bodies where that came from. And now again, you see the supporting line starting to be ran. Elian, a little too late to it, will sacrifice his teammate's life for now. And that bomb is still yet to commit. Still thinking about where it wants to head. Nice little boost up for Kriaz. Gets another. And for the first time in a long time, it's the man advantage now. Actually in favor of Finest. And all 3 players for Entropiq starting to group up over towards that B-bomb site right as Finest look to double back, right as they look to take it once more into A.
Yeah, just as Nickelback starts moving back in that direction as well, but it looks like Shox, I believe, is going to try and lurk late out mid. It's going to be handled by Elian, but the timing could still potentially work in their favor, but they will need success, obviously, on their way up the ramp first if they want that to work out. Take the attention away, ensure that mid player can have a chance, and obviously get some openings of your own. Kreese does get 1, not before they lose twist on the initial entry, and, well, another 1-for-1 trade actually works out quite effectively. It leaves Nickelback all alone. There's still enough time here as well for that flank to slowly work its way in. Although it will now, I believe, be spotted. But the pressure's on, obviously, for Nickelback, who's surrounded at this point, and yeah, the timing doesn't work in his favor as he just about looks away. It's going to be the final kill found there by Shox, and with that Finest, they're able to welcome themselves to the scoreboard. And the damage they'd been doing was pretty solid throughout. There was only, I think, 1 or 2 clean rounds, and they were spread as well. They weren't back-to-back, so no economy was ever really built up. They've got enough sure for their buy right now. There's nothing behind it. So Finest, if they do that again, if they just take this round, the 3rd round comes for free pretty much off the back of it. And then suddenly we've got a game again.
Do have to get this round, though. That's always the thing that's worth remembering. Still a solid buy into this for Entropiq. Good utility across the board. Elian still with his big green, and he's had some good impact with that early on in this map. Lesson and Anakez once more tasked with lurking down the bottom of the A ramp. Couple of players trying to work the mid control as well. A little bit of an off boost just to see if they can find anything at all. Kriaz left solo. Again, just making noise up towards B, but this time it's Forrester who draws first blood. Quickly traded away, and with Twist actually finding Lackey, that B site starts to look vulnerable again. Mid opened up, and you can see Forrester reacting to that by just trying to make his way back around. Elian, meanwhile, trying to give his teammates something to anchor off, has managed to find a pick onto the AWP, but down on A, and now Forrester had the lineup, can only find the 1, traded away cleanly. And in the even 2-on-2, B-site taken. Bomb a long way from home is just starting to make its way back up the stairs now. It will be a clean plant for them to try and hold this one back. Nickelback and Elian give the retake a crack. Nickelback hasn't been quiet, hasn't been secretive about his position. He's spotted, tagged down, dealt with by Plessen. And it's Elian into the 1v2. Problem for the AWP is Twist is just going to give him nothing. Sitting on this angle, Elian has to go wide for it. Flicks onto the first, legs up Plessen for the second. He knows he's got him low and he'll use the AWP regardless. 8 on the board for Entropiq, guaranteed lead at the half. And well, a little bit of magic from Elian right at the death of that round to seal it and secure it.
That is heartbreaking. I was already forming my words for what I was going to say after Finest take the round and break them down. I thought it was almost a certainty, but no, the player up close somehow gets caught off guard, and his teammate didn't have the angle that he thought he did, apparently, because clearly he was relying on his teammate to be on that with the op to tell him if he was coming around. That didn't happen, and obviously a fantastic clutch from Elliot nonetheless. 8-1, that was Finest's opportunity to break Entropiq and just really start to come back. Instead, now, sure, they have a decent buy again, but Entropiq are back with everything they could ask for. The op is there, they've got all their nades. Sure, the weapons are a little bit weak in terms of there being a FAMAS and an MP9, but with an opening kill already going their way off the back of Forrester, that's not going to be too much trouble for them, apparently. He's not the craziest fragger right now, only on 7 kills, but a good majority of them, from what I can remember, have been those openings.
It's down towards that B site as well. If your anchor gets 1, you're just in a fantastic position. You always are. So doing the job he's been sent to do. Plessen looking to do a job of his own. Has found 2 on the spray down. Nickelback at least able to trade 1 away. But again, like you said, Dean, not on the best firepower in the world. Down on that MP9, screaming for support here. Anarkes will be his next problem and his next victim, as Nickelback just seems in tune with that MP9. Another kill to his name. He can fall away to sight once more. And the hit again, starting to look a little choreographed. Shox trying to do what he can, has found 1, but that's bombed down. And now Twist is alone. 1v2, he's going to try and be cheeky, play around the smokes that were already thrown by this CT side. They're both here, they're both watching for exactly this. Twist spotted, tagged down low. Into the single digits he goes with 35 seconds still to play with. Problem is, what do you realistically look to do? He's managed to nab bomb at the very least. It's something to play with. Fakes the utility, fakes the noise, but doubles back right into the crosshairs. Lackey, a free kill, a 9th on the board for Entropiq. The economy once again just about teetering at breaking point for Finest. And as much as they're getting damage done, Dean, as much as they're taking rifles away, and we're talking about how fantastic that is, there's a point where you have to say this is your map pick. It has to be rounds. Damage is no longer really of any relevance, and it feels like we're only a round or 2 away from that point already.
Yeah, it's on the brink of being already completely out of their control. Crad with the MP9. This is ballsy, but he wants to go for it. He's in a position where he could have been wrapped on, but they seem to be expecting someone to have his back, so it took them a bit longer to get in and actually clear it out. So with that, the escape was allowed. Sure, they do get the 1 trade on Elian, but still with the bomb comfortably under the control of Entropiq here, and on the alley, it's just not much that can be done. Thought that smoke was further forward, I guess. That's actually quite smart. Because you can't really tell from the other side, unfortunately. Crad then goes in and gets the final kill as well, so he gets a ton of money off that MP9, even gets the upgrade back onto the rifle, the one that they had dropped. So I think that round was as near to flawless as it could be without being actually flawless, without a casualty.
A little bit of intelligence there for Crad. As you said, there's no idea for the T side how far that smoke goes, so he starts spamming it just a little bit, just enough to make the T side think, maybe I can catch a timing here, but he's waiting for exactly that play. Nickelback this time expected by Shox, who has dodged the flashbangs, does a good job this time, 2nd time of asking, but again, the response is immediate. As much as Shox makes a great play, Crad is there to respond, deals with Twist. Brings things back into the 4-on-4, and with 3 players now queued up over towards that A ramp, it is going to be this control contested once more. Elian in towards the lane. Crad playing a deeper supporting role than you typically see. Will leave him a little hung out to dry, but he's up for the task. AWP on AWP, Elian finds a victory once again. Anarkes now 1-10. Really not the map for him, it seems. And now again with that man advantage up, we see Entropiq just no real interest in pushing the issue. Happy to turtle into their respective sites, trusting that their aim is going to win them the day, as it has every time it's been asked so far on this map, bar that one round. Bomb to be recovered with 45 seconds left on the clock. And I mean, look at Entropiq's setup here. There's 4 players in towards this A site. One's sure for the mid-rotate, but they're that confident that it absolutely isn't going to be B. Just afforded this complete rotation, and even if it is B, they feel confident enough that they can retake it 2-on-4. Pleasant at least able to nab one up the ramp. Does deal with Crad. The problem is still Alien, who lies in wait, will finally be forced back by the Molotov, and that's going to be right into the crosshairs here. Pleasant, the tiniest of pixel gaps inside this smoke, but he's losing teammates again. He's doing all he can here, Pleasant. A second kill in the round. He needs 2 more to clutch it up, and Alien, knowing there's only 10 seconds left, just tucks tail, baits the shot in with the no-scope, and it's 11-1. All the ones, but they're very much in favor of Entropiq.
11-1. I mean, I was not expecting it to go this way. we thought maybe to swap up a Vertigo, something that would maybe even be unexpected by Entropiq, could work out for Finest, but now it looks to be, honestly, a bit worse than Mirage had gone for them in the past, and that was their choice that they threw in. Nades, very limited as well for Finest. They threw a few in the open in moments, but not that many. And they're only left with a smoke and a flash now at this point. The leg being spotted of Kreese as well. That's a very common angle, just specifically in this game from Forrester. He's already used it 3 or 4 times, so definitely was expected, but they still took a ton of damage before getting that kill. It's unlucky he doesn't at least get one of the frags for himself, but he's done enough damage to make that worthwhile, I'd say, especially now with Crad managing to find a bit of success back on that A ramp. I don't know if they're fully aware of how much damage is done, but they should probably calm things down a little bit, but they don't seem willing to. 11-1, they've got confidence flowing through their veins.
Very much so, and at this point, I mean, you've got 3 players a whisper from death over on the side of Finest. One of them, Twist, will find a nice headshot. Back he goes down, and I mean, the B site does feel like the play right now for Finest. It's Alien over there on the AWP. It's the only corner of this map where the fact 4 of you are low on HP won't matter, and Twist taking full advantage of these headshot angles. His second already up. The problem again is they're so low. Nickelback catches 2 right as they look to transfer, and it will be the retake attempt from Crad here. Limited on his utility, however. No real nades to work with, and Shocks on full HP has started to work his way back down this ramp. He's got a great afterplant here. Pleasant tucked behind the pillar. Crad's going to need a little bit of timing here to be able to clear this well, and it's not going to connect. Second round on the board. Something to write home about for Finest. They need a lot more where that came from, but with the economy once again a breaking point for Entropiq, this half's not done yet.
I mean, it's still recoverable to a decent position, especially with the weaknesses that are present here for Entropiq. Again, they just never really build up any sort of an economy. It makes us sad, honestly, because it's a position where we've never seen Entropiq really have money build up for themselves, yet they're still leading 11-2. It shows you that if a couple of these closer rounds go the other way, suddenly Finest rather have a foothold in the game and a chance to get their way back in, but it's just happening a bit too late, I'd say. Although Shocks wants to disprove me here as he just walks his way over to B, takes the site easily, and should be calling at this point, I'd imagine, for his teammates to start making their way over, because he's able to cut off most of the rotations. Someone could maybe go through the CT spawn, so I think they're happy enough to just try and play off of their advantage on this default and perhaps punish any response that comes in from Entropiq, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Nickelback, too keen on it, goes down for free. And like you said, Alien and Forrester are a long way away from where that bomb's headed. Hoping for a timing. Forrester hears that tag as well. He's desperate to at least bag one of them, but he can't quite nab it. That bomb will head over towards the B site. Free plant, free round on the board, and a decision to be made for Entropiq as well, with 2 players kept up. A decent enough save, given they've got no money coming in. Wouldn't be a bad position, and it does look like they're just going to tuck tail, hide in towards the depths of this A site, hope the hunt doesn't come in, but Finest, they are going to go chasing.
But they may as well. Definitely worthwhile if you can take the weapons away. The problem is they're not doing so. Forrester manages to take out 2 of them. It was a nice little flash in as well, so they did work off of each other. They might still have to deal with 1 more back on the bomb site. At this stage, I think you might want to try and just keep the guns on both Twist and Kreese. Losing these could cost you quite a bit. I know they're going into the final round of the half, but you don't want to be left with a Galil or so in play. Either way, one kill comes in, and there's the second. Elian doesn't manage to last either. Only a half a second or so needed, and he would have managed to have survived, so that's a bit unfortunate. But for Finest anyway, they're cheering, because now they're up against, what, pistols, Kevlar? No SMGs even really can be afforded. There's an MP9 there, sure, actually on Forrester, but he limited himself on what sort of nades he could get behind this. So this should be a fourth round for Finest. Suddenly they get the pistol going into the second half, and they're in the game. You can see the road forward.
Certainly wasn't a position they felt like they were going to be in coming into this one. Flashes into the A ramp, wanting to take control here in Entropiq. I think knowing that they just let their foot off the gas a little bit towards the back end of this first half, and they have been punished for it well. Now looking to charge through the ramp. Crad in and amongst his own smokes. Hot flash through it as well. They want to take this fight, and Crad knows he's blinded one up, gets the freebie on the CZ. There's a lot more bodies here, however, and he won't survive much longer. Good damage onto Kriaz regardless. Now Elian next up, isolated, will be dealt with. There's damage on the board, and you can see Finest just a little cautious, but with 3 AKs and an AWP still up, coming up against 2 Deegs and MP9, 1 flash and 1 smoke, it's near enough a secured round regardless. Just about holding on to what little they have left. Lackey trying to spam away, trying to bait a timing for Nickelback, but oh, Twist is a little wise to those kind of tricks, and well, Lackey inside the site, now the last man alive, doing what he can. We'll find 2. And that is actually going to send the bomb packing. Kriaz will make his way back over towards B. His teammate to join him shortly. And Lackey, well, he's smelt a rat. He's worked out what's going on. He's nabbed himself an AK, but with no defuse kit, it's going to have to be a very swift retake. And you can see the T side taking no risks at all. Shox just now clearing his way down onto that ramp. A smoke to lock out an alley of attack for the CT side. And Lackey, well, he's going to walk right into this. The barrel of the AWP is there. Kriaz gets it. 11-4 as we head into the half. Not a bad first half, you have to say, for Finest. A solid recovery at the death, and it didn't really feel like it was something we were going to be getting in those early rounds, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, not bad considering it looked like it was going to be absolutely terrible, but they're still going to need a lot in the second half. Entropiq obviously hadn't really built up their money, so it was very possible that could happen, that they could finally get broken, be on that double eco. What we would have been looking towards whether Finest could then keep that up going into the following gun rounds, but obviously it was quite late when they got that, so it just gets them towards their 4 rounds in the long run. So now I need to see what they can do. If they can pick up the pistol round, suddenly the momentum's in their favor, and I start to believe that maybe they can get some get to come back here and hopefully take their own map choice, because it feels like it's needed for sure if they want to pull off this series. The cat's been a nuisance again, I see.
Yeah, of course he is. He just hears that we're on ESEA. We've had tech pauses, we've had problems, and now he's decided that he's going to wreak havoc over my setup. He'll be up on the desk in a minute, I guarantee it. But
he just wants to be an internet star. Look, there he is.
See? He knows. He knows the camera's on. I'm almost convinced of it at this point. He just wants to be all over the shot. But there we go. The brief cameo of the cat is done. And, well, we can chuck it to a break because we're going to have a little bit of a halftime break, guys. When we're back, we'll see if Finest can keep it going here on Vertigo. salvaged first half for Finest. They find themselves 11-4 down, though, heading on to the CT side of things. A pistol, a much-needed start here, and they're going to try and charge down the ramp, but it's been read well, and it's 3 free kills for Entropiq. Forrester and Elian combining. Twist, he'll pick up one, but it's starting to look like table scraps already. Nickelback deals with him on the flick, and well, Kriaz, what do you do here? You're 1v4, you've been digged down. It's a very smart headshot to find the first, but you need so much more, and you're a bullet from death. Forrester will deal with it with 30 seconds into the second half, Dean. And, well, Entropiq are 4 rounds away from finishing it.
Damn it, I was muted. Forget the last few seconds of silence, guys. We were just chilling. That's what it was. 100%. 100%. But yeah, pretty secure buy here. The 2 MAC-10s go heavy on the utility so that they can do that, I suppose. Stop this aggression from being too much of a threat. Stop the weaker weapons from hiding in little ratty positions. I didn't expect an Arquez to just peek straight into it, especially considering he's been having a rough game. Is that maybe a peek out of frustration? Because he didn't have anyone else ready to come support him.
It does feel a little reactionary, and as Forrester deals with Plessin, you're starting to see the consequences of it. 3 on 5. Bomb down. Twist, Kriaz, and Shocks. There's nothing to do other than to save what you've got, right? Keep the Deagles, keep the MP9, keep the armor. Hope that it adds a little more bite to the next round, because otherwise it's going to look very tame indeed. And you can see already the MAC-10 keen to chase what it can away. Tries to go for the Deagle. Twist on the spam will get the fortunate headshot, however. And at this point, Nickelback, I mean, he could go chasing. I'd like to see him drop his nades to someone else, if I'm being honest. He's got $500 worth of utility. Drop that away. Get that MAC-10 out and go for a little charge around the map. See what you can find, but doesn't seem to be that way inclined. So will be the 2 Deags and the MP9 saved into the next and Finest. The problem, again, it feels very similar to those opening moments of the first half, right? Where we're talking about, yes, Finest are doing economic damage. Yes, this time they've managed to save some bits and pieces. But Entropiq are 3 rounds away from stealing their map pick. We're beyond the point of thinking about economy and thinking about the long game. We're at that panic point now where you've just got to start getting something done. Otherwise, this map and potentially this series falls with it.
Yeah, I don't know. This has been beyond just even stealing their map pick away. They forced Finest to sign it away to them so that they couldn't even do anything about it in the future. It's not even theft at this point. They just gave it up to them. This one, it seems like Forrester took a ton of damage, though. That is not the ideal start. It was the MP9, I believe, that done so, and Kreese escapes in a decent position. I mean, on 48 health. The only problem is they have 1 MP9 and some Deagles, 2 smokes then to try and work with as well. So even with that damage, it's going to be quite hard to capitalize on it. And
stacks
well, it's a stack, yeah. So this might work. Kreese takes the first fight. I thought maybe the pistols would show themselves initially and try and let the MP9 catch some distracted players, but no, they all swing it together. They get mowed down. Elian's going to go ahead and take that kill through his teammate, or at least around them, doing some damage, leaving only Twist alone now. So this is going to be 14-4. It's already confirmed. Maybe Twist just saves his Kevlar. That's what I'd probably go for at this point.
Try and hide it away. You're not wrong. Hope that that gives you, you know, a little bit extra to buy into the next with the loss bonus tagged on. Gives you something to work with, because again, this one just feels like it's getting away from Finest very quickly. Twist is actually going to go in, see what he can find. It's a first, a nice second as well. Lackey next up on the chopping block, but he's quick enough to react and deal with it. And as much as, again, you know, it's great. He takes away a MAC-10, he takes away an AK, but the AK is going to be salvaged. Krad's still got a MAC-10 in his hands, and that potentially could have been some extra bits and bobs for your team. That could have even been maybe the AWP dropped across to Anarchist, so he could pick up a little more utility, but this is where we're at. It's 14-4. Entropiq looking to put the final nails in the coffin here. Just 2 more rounds required. And they've got a very strong buy coming into this one. Krad, the only man taking sacrifices, and well, the only reason he is he saved that MAC-10 from the last round.
Yeah, a little bit of a bonus round. The only player who fully invested, of course, is Elian on the up, and it doesn't really pay off for him, sadly. Anarquez peeks through, manages to catch the timing, and well, a strong opening kill. The op, I don't think, is going to be recoverable quite yet either, as they've been forced back across either side of ramp. So, a strong opening. One of the better positions we've had Finest in. Of course, they do need to ensure they convert off of this gun round, so it it is desperately needed, if not to work their way fully back into this map, to at least get something going before they move forward onto Ancient, where they haven't had much luck in the past. No pun intended.
Yeah, historically it's not been great for them. Kriaz trying to take the fight to the CT side here. It leaves him a little vulnerable, but he manages to get out of dodge in time. They're trying to bait into this two-man setup, and Kriaz going back for more. Will connect his spray down. That's a nice little kill. 2 players low, but then the bait and switch comes through. Crad, whilst he gets one, is still stuck on that Mac 10, and if he loses his teammate here, if Lackey goes down, that would spell disaster, but he finds the kill. That'll be a bomb plant. 2 on 3, taps it once, wants this peak, spots the man on high, a little late on the reaction, but he'll get it. 1v2 even now. He knows Twist is on the flank because he's killed off his teammate, so he's going to go hunting. Anarchez on single digits here. Jumps past to bait the shot out of the AWP, not quite the connection, and off the back of it, Lackey could just look to increase the pace here, could go straight in towards that B site, and it's exactly what he's going to do. Should be a free plant. Anarchez, again, because of that 9 HP, can't really afford to be the first man barreling in, has to wait for the support lines to be ran by Twist, and that will concede the plant. Now Lackey thrown into the 1v2, tucks himself behind white box. Anarchez has read this. He's playing the time as well. Twist has baited Lackey's attention away. Anarchez got him pinned in, missed shot. Anarchez on single digits, but he'll get it at the second time of asking. A must-win round, the start of a very long comeback if they want to make it happen, and they just about stick the landing, Finest.
Whoa, that was scary. Anarchez is really having a shaky game. It kind of worked in his favor when he missed the first shot, because his position just wasn't expected, because he presumes if he was standing there, he would have hit the very, very easy shot. So he doesn't even look in that direction. At least that's how it looked to have played out. 9 rounds in the difference, so there's still a long way to go, but it is a start. Not the most convincing of rounds with only the 2 standing, but they make it happen, and now if they can win out this one, and Eco should be in play for Entropiq, allowing a bit of a build-up at least for Finest to happen, which obviously didn't manage to go down very early in that previous half. When they finally started pulling things back, it was a bit too late. They were only able to actually make their way to 4. So if they can get it going here in the early stages, then maybe some fate is still there. It's a slower round from Entropiq, though.
Just bleeding the utility dry. It's a nice little call. Already Anarchez, Twists, Kriaz with nothing left. Majority of their util over towards mid and B as Entropiq start to work out their own execute. Molotov to flush Kriaz out of the opening angles. Smoke's refreshed again to allow them to start lurking into that very corner they've just cleared. With a minute left on the clock, they have started to work their way up the ramp, but that CT Molotov's going to make it a little while longer before they can continue to do so. With a 3-man stack over here, Anarchez posted on the AWP. This starts to feel dangerous. Entropiq still toying. They're actually going to double back out of it. Up the ramp they head. It's Twist on the angle. It's a rough old spray down, but he lands the first. Tucks himself behind the generators to buy time, and here comes the support charging in. It's a 1-for-1 for Crad. But the site still under siege, and still Elian finds purchase. Forrester with another. 25 seconds. They do need to get that bomb down, and they need to do it now. But Kriaz, with the attempt to deny, will throw his life to the sword. Forrester, up close and personal, deals the critical damage, and Anarchez, oh, you could see it. He knows what this round means. He knows what this round going south means in the context of the series. It's conceding map point. It's conceding map point on your map pick, but he's got no choice. That AWP is a necessity moving forwards. And a 15-5 Entropiq. Well, it wasn't particularly pretty, Dean, but they just brawl their way into the B site.
Yeah, sometimes that's just how you've got to do it, especially when you're working with such a massive lead like this. You have the room to try a few times, something along those lines, because it can be difficult to deal with. If there's smokes and such coming down, the CTs are given time to put their reactionary mollies and flashes and such in place, but if it's just a straight up scrap into the bomb site, it's going to come down to who hits their shots. And that's something we know Entropiq are fantastic at. So I think it's something they can put a bit of a gamble on working every now and again. And it has indeed brought them up the map point here. Only 1 round away from stealing away the choice of Finest in the finest of manners, really. A couple of FAMASs though, so it's not a terrible buy for Finest. Nades could definitely be better as well, but they still have the op. They have some M4s, and they had what looked like it could have maybe been an opening kill, but it's just some damage towards Forrester for now.
Good damage at the very least. Problem is, again, it is ramp conceded as a result. It's a huge chunk of real estate that is often the most hotly contested portion of Vertigo, so to lose it in those opening 20 seconds is a big loss. And you can see that now as they're starting to think about retaking it. Pleasant creeps under the angle, spotted though, dealt with. Nickelback even runs the support line. Kriaz, who was meant to back his teammate up, instead goes down for free. Anarkez scrambling will at least nab one. Get something to work with, but again, there's still a minute left on the clock. There's still a man advantage here for Entropiq. They can slow it down as much as they want. They go quicker instead, and Anarkez is up for the task now. Starting to look a little warmer as each kill goes his way. Even 3-on-3 at this point. Nickelback going to bog down himself an AWP as well, although it's a little messy. There's a FAMAS and an M4 in his way. They still want this A site, Entropiq. They still want to get up here, and Elian is going to look to do exactly that. Sticking the landing. Shox trying to go above the smokes, but he thinks better of it. And it will be the afterplant now. Nickelback posted on the headshot angle. Shox thinking about swinging wide on that as well. Teammate is on the flank, but isn't yet to really push his luck. He's only just now starting to swing the corners, and the timing is going to be everything. Elian, a little awkward for him. He gets the freebie, but it's Lackey inside of the site, and Nickelback is there with him.